very true. They did get right at first selection. They picked first pick. KCB chose red, which means G2 so far this split are going to have played 7 games on the blue side. Wow. Not a single game on any other side of Summoner's Rift. Obviously, that doesn't mean they had first pick in all of their games with their new right at first selection. We're into picks and bans. Yanara, Rumble, and Aatrox taken away by G2. No real surprises there. Hoppy, Varus, and Jace, the removals by KCB.
Hazel does have the opportunity to get himself his fabled Aphelios, if he so wishes, something that in the ERLs he was very well known for.
True.
The question is, does he want to play it up against Caps' Azir? Of course, one of his most prolific champions, mainly because of how he typically plays it through the side lanes, but of course in the current meta, it is kind of the tried and true. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like the Rise or the Taliyah come out from Kamiloo as response. Something like the Orianna, he can play, but doesn't usually fit into his wheelhouse. Would love to see a Ziggs mid. We did see it a little bit last year from a couple teams as an answer into the Azir, just because it can match in terms of the mid lane matchup and also gives good poke, but it looks like we're not going to see that today. Taliyah Pantheon going to be that tried and true combo that we've seen so many times before.
Yeah, just such a good combo. The ability to get the stun down with the Pantheon, a seismic shove to follow up, Unraveled Earth there for a subsequent stun. Makes it very easy to catch someone out. Unraveled Earth also really good into Azir when he's trying to use those shifting sands to get out of the fight. Talking about fabled picks, BB's Lee Sin. Will it rear its ugly head once again? Zhao is going to be the lock for jungle for G2, and they are looking towards the top lane. It's going to be Sion. Okay, Dylan Falco has had enough of your shenanigans. You've shenaned once, he won't let you do it a second time.
I can imagine the conversation. Listen, Dylan, like, I've had 3 Cassante games so far this split. Maybe we can change it up. And he's like, yeah, man, sure. Sion it is, you know? You can do the same thing on a different champion. I'm a little surprised about Xin, not because I don't expect it from SkewMond. In fact, that was the first thing that came to mind. But into the Taliyah, I thought maybe he would lean more towards the Wukong. But it seems he wants a little bit more early game agency. They know they have the Sion. They have that follow-up to come through once the Xin Zhao decides to engage. Champions like Rakan potentially rise in value here, especially with the Poppy already gone. But again, do you want to be playing that champion into the Taliyah? We'll have to wait and see from the bot.
Yeah, Rakan doesn't have the best of times into Taliyah, and even into Pantheon. The ability for him just to point-and-click stun you as you're jumping in for a grand entrance stops your knock-up from coming in, and then you just CC'd in the middle of the enemy team. You have the Unraveled Earth there as well. You can't battle dance away without getting stunned. It becomes pretty tricky overall. And better the next ban here from G2 alongside the Caitlyn from KCB. You can see they're trying to pinch that AD carry pool a little bit, get rid of some of the pushing ADs into Corki, who does tend to have good matchups into a lot of AD carries early on because of that gasoline gut.
Wonder if G2 will look to remove the Aatrox next. We've seen that. Oh, already gone, I apologize. So with the Aatrox and Bessa, now they may even target Tao Zhen. We've seen him play a couple of these carries up towards the top side, and basically this man's champion pool from the split will have been removed if they do choose to get rid of that. They might also be thinking about supports themselves. Nautilus is another one that comes to mind for G2 that they could pair up with a plethora of AD carries, but also gives you that extra lockdown for those backline threats. We did talk about support bans. It looks like that it will be that Nico removed from the pool. I had a bit of a mind blank there.
That's okay. You're injured, Betty.
Didn't affect my memory.
A lot of the blood is going to that inflammation in your wrist. It's not going to your brain. That's the problem. That's my medical opinion. As Cassante is locked in for KCB, it is the final one in the pool for Tao, apart from that Zhen, which he's decided not to pilot here. We could be getting gigabaited, and it's actually Sion support from Labrov. We saw Senna Sion lanes last year.
It's longer than that, mate. Because that was back in the reckless...
Yeah, but we saw some last year.
Did we?
I solo queue, maybe.
Oh.
I saw some around, Betty, yeah.
Okay, that's
Instead, Aphelios and Alistar, a double A to round out G2's comp.
Han Sama Aphelios. Am I hallucinating? I swear, I can think of many champions attached to Han Sama's name. Aphelios is not one of them. But maybe
it's
I'm
actually
tripping.
his 9th most played all time.
Okay, 9th I feel is pretty...
Sure, 41 games on it. The last time he played it was 2024 Spring Playoffs, so it has been a while. But it's also been a while since Aphelios has been that meta.
That's true. I guess there was a meta where it was just Jinx Aphelios, right? I'd be surprised if he didn't have that many Aphelios games. That's very, very valid. But yeah, excited to see that one. It will be his first Aphelios of the split so far as I can tell.
Yes, the last time we played it was 2024
Yeah, you
Spring.
did just mention that. Yeah, that you did.
And there's the Nautilus that you were talking about on KCB's side.
So I mean, we've got very standard comps.
Yes.
Nothing to write home about. G2 have good scaling, good range, front to back, nothing crazy. KCB have something similar, a little bit more skirmishing power in the early game, but specifically their ability to play through the side lanes with Taliyah and Pantheon. They give that many more options approaching that mid game. The question is, can they actually catch a G2 as they look to try and catch those waves inside as we enter the mid?
It's really, when you're looking at teamfights later on as well, how do and who do KCB catch? Like, you're going in with a Nautilus hook. Do you want to be on an Alistar? Azir is going to shifting sands away. Well, Zhao maybe, or an Aphelios perhaps?
I think you have to think about it similar to what we saw from the SK game at the start of the day, which is Pantheon, flash engage, everything, all the bells and whistles immediately come out, full on follow up. You try to assassinate one of the two carries, and then you're like, oh, I mean, you've only got an Aphelios or Azir left to deal damage.
Sure.
We're going to win that war of attrition. Whether or not they can pull it off, of course, is a different question. As they go up against G2, our reigning LEC champions after winning in summer. Had a bit of a slow start to the split, finding themselves at 3-3. But last week definitely felt like that they were more in the driver's seat compared to what we saw from them compared to week 1.
Yeah, they went 1-2, 2-1, and on social media they're talking about how they expect this week to be a 3-0. They have KCB today, Lost returns tomorrow, and then Vitality to round out the week. KCB on the other side are going to start off with this match against G2, and then Heretics and Fnatic on the horizon.
Love the chat. Baus molding over seeing Sion open. Poor man. Maybe one day he'll get his Sion.
Like, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Say somehow, and I know you're a Lost Returns hater, obviously.
Okay, not true.
I learned it from Jack, man. He told me as the hook goes down
got it.
onto Labrov. And Labrov going in with a heal here as well. Hazel just out of range of the pulverize. Prime using his own heal, flashes forward for those staggering blows, gets another one to Labrov, who is forced away. Let's see what the G2 support was trying to do there, but Prime and Hazel coming out trumps on the top side, on the bot side, in fact.
Yeah, and you can see Labrov trying to get a base off. Hook.
Oh, ooh, great hook.
Threads the needle there. Nice connect, and now I feel like alarm bells need to be ringing. Where is that Pantheon? Yukino has to be contemplating a bot lane dive. Of course, G2 don't know that he's on the top side of the map right now, but they have to be fearful of that potential play. Looks like SkewMond not making any immediate moves to try and rotate down towards that bot lane.
Prime's walking. He's still walking. He's still walking. The flash from Hansama perfectly timed. Hazel able to Valkyrie on the spot, but just gets to the right pixel to get over Labrov's knockback under the tower. Hazel and Prime will be able to walk away, but it's a summonerless AD carry in the form of Hansama now.
I feel like that was a huge win for the KCB bot lane. They've gotten all the summoners out from Hansama. He did lose a decent amount of farm there as well. That wave is pushing underneath their tower, and I think they should arrive just in time based on the wave's position, because another wave is going to connect with it, stop it from getting underneath the tower, and that's going to force Hansama and Labrov to stick around for one extra wave. So the timing, the execution, everything coming together for KCB. You could argue the only downside is that Hansama's not going to stick around for a potential gank as Yukino's on the bot side of the map, but huge win from the bot lane 2v2 of KCB.
Yeah, able to catch this entire wave. Will hit the level 3 off that wave as well. There is a small weakness perhaps with Hansama backing now. If he can pick up a cull off this first couple of waves, he will have a slight item advantage over Hazel, who went refillable, and Hansama and Labrov actually staying around.
Oh, I don't see what they're going to get, because this wave is just kind of frozen here.
I think the idea, as they saw the Nautilus walk towards mid, is perhaps we can set something up onto Hazel. And that is what they're trying to do. They'll get the next wave in as well. In the end, it's much ado about nothing, even with the root and with the cover of SkewMond. Hazel able to hold the wave for now. Labrov should be able to hunt him away. Had the trample going. Caps hooked again. Prime.
Okay.
Truly, Angelina Jolie bending the bullets in this game.
That is an old reference that most of our audience probably won't understand.
Hey, if you haven't watched Wanted, you need to give that movie a watch. Hazel here needs to be careful because there's a flash from Labrov, and there's the root follow-up. Hazel trading back onto Hansama with the barrier. Needs another auto, gets it in time. Valkyrie's away and will be punched by a cow. He's sent home in a coffin, but he gets the 1-for-1.
Well played by Hazel, taking advantage of the additional summoner spell that he has to turn that situation into a 1-for-1. The wave is a little bit awkward for him, but still, I think he's going to be pretty happy getting what is effectively a 2v1 solo kill against Hansel.
And getting that Hex Flash out of Labrov, and the...
well, they got his flash out
too much. Was it the full flash?
Yeah, that was the full flash.
Oh,
Labrov just flashed over
out of
a
Labrov,
wall.
Yeah. That's really big for Hazel. Goes back, gets himself a tier on a longsword. Cull, a double dagger. on the side of Hansama, and a 300 gold lead for the Corki for KCB on that bot side. Meanwhile, on the top side, it's two tanks punching each other, guys. You've seen this one a million times before.
But also, note Yukino with a small camp lead. He was actually able to re-clear his topside camps before getting the base off, while SkewMond is only just now succeeding in that clear. Of course, SkewMond did go for an earlier base, so he's going to now make his way back towards that bot side of the map. So in terms of items, but who's ready to contest that? It's none other than Yukino himself.
Prime is level 2, just covering for his jungle as he looks at the contest on these Razor Beaks, gets the smite down, and secures it. One less camp for SkewMond. The lead for Yukino will build as he goes back towards his own side of the jungle.
Do like that play from Yukino, though. The fact that he did clear his top side, then was in a position utilizing his push from his laners to set up a small invade onto SkewMond. The level of confidence is stuff that we always like to see from young players participating in the LEC. And so far, KCB, again, you think about early laning phase, traditionally, you think of G2, even if they are playing scaling compositions against a team like KCB, their first time for many of these players in the LEC, they would crumble under the pressure. They wouldn't play with that level of confidence, but so far we're seeing KCB playing with nothing but confidence as they go toe-to-toe against G2 here in the early game.
Hansama and Labrov definitely on the back foot in this 2v2. Prime does only have the boots. There's a Ruby Crystal on Labrov. This Alistar pretty tanky as well. Running the Unsealed Spellbook, it has that heal, so doesn't have something like the Aftershock or the Phase Rush to get out of a fight, but does have their ability to be a little bit more mobile on the map generally. You can get the teleport, you can get the ghost out, you can move around a little bit more and influence other lanes. Caps going in, Kamiloo flashes away from the Emperor's Divide, gets the seismic shove back and will chip away at Caps' health bar well with that threaded volley, but Caps got what he wanted. Labrov was looking for this in case Kamiloo stepped a little bit too far up, but Kamiloo wisely backs away. Meanwhile, Hansama stepping in. Flash hook's gonna land. Valkyrie in from Hazel as well. Hansama, red, white, wants to fight. And really, just wants to get underneath the tower. Doesn't have the Moonlight Vigil for the Severum healing, so needed just to back away.
I mean, the roam from Labrov really costing Hansama there in the bot lane 2v2. He's already down about 10 CS. Of course, he would have been able to recoup some of that difference from this next wave, but he can't afford to stick around now. He's isolated. The threat of a dive is real. He just saw the dragon go down. He knows very well that Yukino is on the bot side of the map, likely with level 6 as well. So if he sticks around to that tower, he is just going to hand over a free kill. So he's forced back to base. An even bigger advantage being gained for Hazel. I mean, look at this Corki lead now. 700 gold lead between the 280 carries.
And the reason that that dive was so effective, as you said, was Labrov's roam. And it's something you talk about a lot as a support player, is showing on the map. Like, Labrov looks for the Hex Flash towards mid. Kamiloo was never really in range. There was a possibility that you could find him, but it was very unlikely. And because Labrov shows, Prime can just flash in, land the dredge line, knowing there's no threat of a headbutt pulverize, there's no threat of me getting knocked back under that tower. Perhaps just a little bit of over-eagerness. Ogre-eagerness, it's Shrek'd for Labrov at the bottom side. A little bit of over-eagerness there for Labrov. Or perhaps, you know, realizing bot lane isn't going that well, feeling he needed to do something somewhere else.
I mean, the moral of the story is support has many layers. Like a cake.
Get out of my bot lane! Oh.
Great movie.
And one probably a lot of our viewers haven't seen.
Somehow, that movie comes up in conversation every week, and I do blame Daniel Dracos
we're millennials.
for that. No, I mainly blame Daniel
Shrek
Dracos.
2 is the one that comes out, because that is a masterpiece.
Right. Again, this same conversation happens every week, and so, at some point, someone's going to say enough's enough. We're just going to have to watch it all together here.
Yes. Little LEC viewing party. I'm going to do it after we get eliminated from Worlds this year.
Nice and quick, yeah. Right, we're setting up 4 objectives, of course. Grubs are available. Right now it is Yukino that's in the better position with his mid having just pushed in. SkewMond hasn't been spotted on the bot side of the map. Observers showing that for us now, but they're suspicious. They are suspicious. You saw that cue from Hazel going into the brush. Actually, did he see that? Yeah, he definitely saw that, because I see the pings coming down.
And because of that, grubs are easy.
Should
for
be
KCB.
easy, yeah.
Got themselves a Drake. Going to get themselves the grubs. Yukino is spotted doing these, but he doesn't care. SkewMond kind of snuck away and snuck back, but like, it's cover. It doesn't really do much. It allows the bot lane to push out a little bit easier, and I guess that's what Hansama and Labrov wanted in that moment.
I mean, they should definitely be aware. I mean, this is a risky ward play, though.
Labrov's going to flash. Good hook from Prime, but he's still going to get knocked back with a headbutt. And now Prime needs to get out of there, but with 3 members of G2 around him, he is food for worms. Hansama claims the kill. It was a good hook out of Prime, but he just couldn't escape in time.
I will say that's a little disappointing from the KCB bot lane. They are basically making fun of SkewMond this entire time because they have full information that he's in the area, and then they still try and contest the ward. I guess they didn't track that Labrov had snuck his way behind them to set up for that play.
I thought they saw the silhouette with the oracles that they were using. Now, it could be a spectator thing, but it did look like he had been silhouetted by it, and they were just playing for it anyway. Kamiloo has no flash here. TP coming in as well. That's Labrov joining the Fragrant Starfall in. Knocked back with the Crescent Guard well by SkewMond. Yukino couldn't get in to do any damage, really.
Okay, SkewMond now making stuff happen on the map. Gets Hans Summer a kill, gets Caps a kill. You can see the gold starting to mount the way of G2. SkewMond known for finding these early plays on his Xin Zhao, and so far in this game he's doing a good job. Dragon a minute and 20 away, so nothing immediate on the map, but once these resets come through, once the items are, well, I guess gotten closer to is the...
Small parts of items, of completed items, are still items in and of themselves.
Yes, that's true.
But Dagda is no less valuable
terms, that's just
than
not
an
true,
Infinity
is it?
Edge.
No. They're components rather than an
items.
Item. They're still just components.
That's true.
Yeah. It's also the way that the ones that really got shafted are the boots, because no one really sees them as an item. Really.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, we always talk about AD carries can now truly be full build.
Yes, they can.
Because they can get 6 true items. But, I mean, you look at the upgraded Merc Treads and the chain-mailed lacers or whatever the new Ninja Tabis are called when you upgrade them in mid. They're incredibly powerful. Those shields you get, Swift March giving you 40% slow resist when you get the upgrade on them.
Cool.
Once again ignored. Kamiloo here, jumped on by Caps. He puts another soldier down. Just chips away at that Taliyah's health bar, and this is where the Azir becomes stronger. He's completed his first item in that Nash's Tooth. It's very hard for Kamiloo to actually trade in effectively. He's gone back to base. Meanwhile, Tao and BrokenBlade are having a bit of fisticuffs in the top lane, a gentlemanly duel. Tao looking for the Q3 knockback and decides a minion deserves it more.
Dragon going to be immediately started by G2. Yukino is in the area. Taliyah has the ulti, but Kamiloo being a level down, I wonder if they feel confident. That item differential might just be enough to dissuade them.
Prime doesn't have 6 either, and this Alistar does. Labrov looking for the head, but stretch line away. No Pulverize to follow up as Yukino's coming across. Weaver's Wall from Kamiloo, trying to make this a 4v3 in KCB's favor. Unbreakable Will out of Labrov. Hans Summer opens up with the Inferno, Moonlight Vigil, and here is Caps. The Emperor's Divide was buffered, but he got stunned on his way across, and now is flashed into Hazel. Should be able to take him down, does get the 1-for-1. Caps and is down. Hans Summer chased out, Crescent Guard in as well as Yukino dives into his enemy jungler. Labrov off towards the top side, trying to get back into this fight. Prime too low to really do too much. Kamiloo across the wall, landing the threaded volleys, but they don't really have the damage. No first item on that Taliyah is costing them a ton. Dredge line in, Prime and Kamiloo team up to get 2 as Hans Summer cannot escape and KCB bite back in the fight.
It's a scrap in the bot lane as we get kills across the board. G2 secured the Dragon, and it's KCB that's looking for it. The combo doesn't connect from Kamiloo. A nice double root comes down from Hans Summer. A nice stun from Yukino to prevent Caps from immediately getting onto that AD carry. It buys Hazel a little bit of time. KCB's backline tries their best to escort Hazel to safety, but he isn't quite able to do it. A 1-for-1 trade, and this skirmish looks bad for KCB, because as you were highlighting, Kamiloo just doesn't quite have the damage. Yukino is buying so much time, but the fight's taken so long that Kamiloo eventually, over time, is able to whittle these HP bars down. Flashes over the wall, gets another kill, and just like that, we're back to dead even in gold.
A Drake apiece. Slight grub lead for KCB, leads in mid and bot, about 200 golds apiece. SkewMond has the lead in the jungle, but KCB will be very happy with how that fight did end up going. Kamiloo now finished his first item, that Archangel stacking up towards the Seraphs. The fact that Kamiloo had a second rotation up in that fight was huge for them. The delay, with the Aegis Assault coming out of the Pantheon, just stopping G2 from really being able to take him down rapidly enough to secure the kill. First items across the board now. Sunfire for BrokenBlade in that top lane. Iceborne Gauntlet is what it is matched with. The AD carries have gone Triforce for the Corki, as expected. And Hans Summer has gone for a Storm Razor first here on Aphelios.
Upgraded boots coming through for Caps after completing that quest. I imagine Kamiloo must be very close. He has been roaming a decent amount. Of course, you get significantly less gains once you've moved out of that mid lane. Kills and The like will, of course, contribute to the completion of that quest, but a small advantage for Caps for the time being. Labrov getting low. Nice damage coming through. I saw he was about 70% HP, and then Yukino just chucked it.
Kamiloo flash forward from Labrov. The dive across the wall from SkewMond. Labrov, well, he's very low, as Vedi would say, as he's taken out. Prime's going to chase here onto Hansama with a Weaver Ball coming in. KCB can collapse. Seismic shove back. Hansama doesn't have the opportunity to use the red-white guns, and it's 2 more over to KCB.
I mean, okay, KCB, a 1.2k gold lead already.
Got the boots with the fur, Vedi.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. They are going low, low, low right now. And they are just punishing G2 over and over again. That's a quick kill on the bottom lane. And look at where the gold sits right now. Kamiloo with a 500 gold lead. That's an 850 gold lead on Hazel right now. This bot lane is looking good for KCB. Question is, can they hold onto this lead? We look back at this, and it's Labrov that gets chunked down. This is what surprised me, right? So he gets a bit of a chunk here. Of course, fully stacked on the passive from Yukino. Huge chunk, just takes off about 20% of his HP. And they decide a re-engage is a possibility. Flashes in, gets the knock-up. Xin goes in, immediately stuns himself. Good reactions there from Kamiloo to get the Unraveled Earth. Then the hook connects because of the ward. Hansama did not know that he was on vision. The collapse from Kamiloo's ulti. Really, Kamiloo was the star of that play. Bot lane and in the jungle.
Yukino looking for Caps up towards the top side as well. Grand entrance in. Caps again. You can put the soldiers down, but you're hitting air. KCB with this pick comp are constantly finding members of G2 isolated.
This is impressive stuff. They're not slowing down against G2. Confidence is what you need to have in a matchup like this, and they're playing with so much confidence as they continuously punish their opponent. Kamiloo, 1.2k goal lead, 4-1 and 2 scoreline. Impressive stuff from the KCB crew. They need to keep this momentum up. They're going to use the Herald. They can hopefully break open the mid tower with that. There's only a single plate left, and once that's gone, it really opens up the map.
It really does. KCB, this team sitting at the bottom of the table, solo down there, 1 and 5. TP coming in from Caps as they look for Tao. Did go all out. Q3 gets the knockback. Prime is there to help him out as well. Tao will just be able to dash his way out. As, yeah, sitting at the bottom of the table, KCB 1 and 5, sole possession of 12th place in the LEC. Yep. I think a lot of people have kind of counted them out. Like, probably 4 or 5 wins to get into playoffs. You only have 5 games left, and one of them is against G2, which they were expected to lose coming into today. But so far in this game, they have shown expectations be damned. TP's coming in. Labrov trying to get onto that backline again. Pops the Unbreakable Will, trying to avoid as much damage as possible. BrokenBlade joining in with a decimating smash. Labrov still healthy for now. The Drake has gone over to G2. They'll dive onto the Sion, but he's damn tanky. Moonlight Vigil Inferno not going to do too much as Hansama is still only 1 item. Yukino still chasing forward. KCB unable to find purchase on the fight. Caps is down in the bot lane pushing in, and Kamiloo has to answer.
Ultimately, a well-executed Dragon secure from G2. They used their tanks the way they're supposed to be used, as walls. They prevented KCB from getting anywhere near the objective. Now Caps, he's going for a dive.
Goes in with the Emperor's Divide. Seismic Shove doesn't connect. Kamiloo still looking for the damage. SkewMond's coming in from the side as well. Does have that Crescent Guard up and the flash, and will jump onto Taliyah. Onto Taliyah. Lickety Split takes him out. Prime could chase SkewMond out, but doesn't really have the backup to do so.
Okay, SkewMond not going to let that early game go unanswered as he works with Caps to find a pick on the bot lane. Caps did do most of the work getting that flash out from Kamiloo, trading it for his own, but ultimately they get that shut down. KCB still holding on to the gold lead for now, but it's G2 with the advantage in Drakes. Baron going to be an option as we get closer to that 20-minute mark. But for now, it's KCB that hold on to all of their outer towers. Mid is now fallen. KCB, how are they going to push this lead further? Really, they need to be utilizing their mid pressure to start putting that pressure on sides, whether it be playing for bot lane, playing for top. Securing another one of these towers makes it easier to gain access into the enemy jungle and then start contesting. FlyQuest with a beautiful tweet. Keck W, we really lost to this. That you did, FlyQuest, that you did. Admittedly, internationally, I do believe the record is 1-1.
Yes.
With the MSI defeat that happened last year into then the world's victory for G2.
And recency bias means EU greater than NA. That's how that works. FlyQuest much changed from their roster from last year, losing Inspired and Whippo over the off-season. I think they beat Shopify Rebellion, though, in their first series.
Yeah,
in the LCS.
Griffin had a... it was a very fun series, for sure.
The Zoomers. It's always fun to...
yeah, I mean, some banging games in the LCS tonight as well, with Lion, new Inspired roster, going up against C9. We'll see how they do. But right now, we've got to get through G2 versus KCB, with KCB holding on to the gold lead. There's a lot of posturing around the bot side of the map, but remember, no Dragon for about 2.5 minutes. What KCB want is that bot tower. They want to open up the map more, and G2 is not allowing it to happen. They are wave clearing. They're matching the pressure from KCB.
Yeah, Yukino using the Aegis Assault really well as well, just to avoid some of the extra damage coming out from G2. Can step forward while it happens as the rest of KCB begins to collapse around him. BrokenBlade here has gone all out from Tao as he chases BB under the tower, dodges to the side of that third and Tophos. And now Tao will just dash away. BB almost falling there, but once again the top laners remain 0-0-0-0-0-0.
Yeah, but their damage per minute.
Woo! Grand start. Oh, Yukino's here!
Surprise! Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a man with a large spear and a shield come to hand you your demise.
It's a perfectly average size spear, buddy.
Yep. KCB get themselves another kill on the board. That tower going to get much lower. But of course, G2, they recognize the position of the enemy jungle, so they set their sights on the bot tower themselves. Should be a plate. Yeah, I think they only managed to get the one on KCB's bot lane tower. But things are looking up. Earlier they were making G2 low, 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 but now KCB, they're going up, up, up.
It's golden for them as the teleport comes out from Tao. Flash from Labrov, flashed warded, couldn't get there in time. Tao escapes the clutches of the Minotaur.
Now you might be thinking, well, that was a waste of a TP, but it was in response to Caps' TP, so a trade across the rift.
I think G2 kind of given up on this next straight. You can see from the positioning, they're moving up towards the top side. They've got two. They're happy enough if KCB want to try and take one of their own, and then it's two apiece, and really that doesn't matter to them. They can just scale up towards these next items. Caps is at 2 items himself now with the Leandri's Nash's Tooth, and Summer on his way to an Infinity Edge. But on the other side, like Hazel's at 2.5 with the Last Whisper. You got 2.5 as well for Kamiloo, Leandri's, Seraph's completed, and that Fiendish Codex, which I've never really understood why it is fiendish in and of itself. Maybe it just contains forbidden knowledge or something.
Oh, that it does, yeah.
Yeah? You've read it?
Yeah, a bunch of very naughty words in there.
Ah.
Rather fiendish.
In Welsh or English?
Both, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, an amalgamation of the two.
Just
there is
together.
A bit of Scottish in there. That section probably has... Okay, please never do that again. You've just offended an entire nation.
Mate, that's a Tuesday. My accents have never been known to be very good. Prime here, maybe caught out. So Rob was looking for the Hex Smash across the wall. There's KCB doing the Drake and G2 not contesting it. We talked about that already. KCB unable to extend their gold lead by much more, and I think they'll want to try to do so. They do have good pick tools, but I still believe that as the game goes later, it's going to be really hard to get through this Sion and this Alistar and this Xin Zhao.
Well, so this is the thing. For G2, they're probably not concerned, because while KCB do find themselves with a nice lead, the experience difference is what G2 is likely relying on. Because given the... It's a minor item advantage, I will admit, but with this item advantage, KCB need to be pressing G2.
Yeah.
They need to be putting that pressure down, forcing G2 into fights when you know you are just objectively stronger. But if you kind of take this trading approach, then G2's like, we're completely fine with that. We know that we're going to scale really well. We've got this really nice front-to-back comp. We've got Azir, Aphelios. If you let us get to 3 items, you having half an item on us really doesn't mean that much. So we're quite content to just trade back and forth. And you can see that BrokenBlade doing the right thing, covering for his mid laner as well, cautious of the fact that Pantheon could ult at any moment. It's actually Kamiloo that's forced out of the top lane because of nice position from Labrov threatening a dive. Now the towers have equalized. I say that's the first tower of the game for G2. I miscalculated. I thought they'd actually secured that bot one, but I apologize for that inaccuracy.
No, it remains standing for now, Vedi, but you are sitting down and can't read the screen as easily as you used to be able to.
Okay.
So
I might be older, my memory might be worse, but my eyesight's still peak. Glasses for lions.
whatever you need to get through the day. Very
Observers highlighting for us how low that mid-tier 2 is. The earlier Herald doing some serious work. KCB seems they're mainly just putting their attention in the middle lane. BrokenBlade having to ult, react to that.
Starfall coming out as well as they look for Hansama. There's the flash forward, and Hansama has to flash the wall, but with the auto following him, he will fall. Labrov Hex flashing away. Crescent Guard out from SkewMond.
Is it a Baron angle, Medic? Is it a Baron angle?
I think it's a bangle.
They're thinking about it.
Putting pressure down here. They have the Weaver's Wall to split G2's family in two, coming up in about a quarter of its cooldown. Dash away from Tau, flash forward from Prime. They go onto the Sion. Not really the target you want, but he's already down to a third HP. Decimating Smash coming out as well as Labrov is on that front line. Flash away from BB, and the cow is gobbled up by KCB. Hansama 10 seconds away from coming back up. 12,000 HP on the Baron as Caps and SkewMond try and get in there. Caps still has the Emperor's Divide. BB's gonna TP back in. Flash away from Caps as Prime has been landing these hooks every single moment he can. The Weaver's Wall from Kamiloo keeps SkewMond from keeping that Baron aggroed, and KCB will back away, settling for 2 kills off the play.
The reset means that G2 might just start it themselves. They've got an Aphelios fresh off the base that can just make a beeline towards the Baron. KCB need to react to this. They have some vision. They have to know this is happening.
They've got a ward just outside of the pit that will be spotting G2 go around towards it. TP behind now as they look for that Taliyah flank. Yukino trying to get in. BrokenBlade acting as the bounce to teleport in from Tau. Second TP coming in from Kamiloo. And now G2 trying to get out, but the hook's going to land onto the backline. Prime falling low. Moonlight Vigil onto Yukino into Hazel. Prime will go down. Labrov will follow suit. SkewMond going to dash onto Hazel, who has to flash away himself. SkewMond falling so low, but they just don't have the damage to take out this Zhao. Tau now dashes back in, will get it, but only Kamiloo still stands. KCB, it was perfect until it all collapsed around you. And Caps will top off the collapse with an Emperor's Divide. BB will take the kill, and it's an ace for G2.
So KCB did so much right, but the moment they peeled off the Baron, G2 punish. And look at the positioning here. Caps and Hansama have so much space to work with. This is their ideal front to back. No threat on the Caps. Hansama is a little isolated, and it's a bit awkward for him to get involved, but the fight has basically already been won. SkewMond and BrokenBlade on the front line, getting rid of the carries on the side of KCB. They converted into an ace, and it's so sad for KCB because they were genuinely so close. They got that pick onto Labrov, but with SkewMond in the area, they're like, we don't have any tools left. We might have to make a 50-50 situation. But once you've committed, you kind of don't have any other choice, because the moment you've backed off, you've created this perfect opportunity for a fresh Aphelios to just walk up and melt that objective.
Was cringe.
Did he just steal the blue?
He headbutted him away and then smited the blue.
Yes.
I mean, he'll be happy, denies the blue from the enemy team, but if you're Yukino, you are ruining the day. That cow made its way onto the Rift. An unsealed spellbook was added to the game. Kamiloo here looking for a Weaver's Wall, trying to split G2 in twain if he can. Guardian Angel now on SkewMond, who does step forward and spots out that Taliyah. Double cannon minion here for G2. Means they'll slowly chip away at the tower. Next wave, probably about 10 seconds away from reinforcing their teammates as Hazel is forced away. And because of that, the tier 2 is going to fall. G2 will take it, and they'll extend their gold lead to about 5K, whereas 3 minutes ago it was nothing.
I'm a little surprised that G2 committed 5 members to the bot side, but I guess given Dragon is alive, they'll just use that pressure and immediately convert it into mid. Someone has to go and catch that mid wave. And speak of the devil, there goes Hansama and Labrov to go and catch that. Now at Soul Point. I wonder if G2's even going to need that. Typically we see teams being unable to end off of a single Baron, and as you'll notice in the top left of your screen, there's only 20 seconds left, so how much more they can get off the back of it, I'm not entirely sure. I very much expect that top tier 2 tower to be G2's next point of focus, and KCB will have to see if they can find another pick. We saw it earlier in the enemy bot side jungle to really threaten that Baron play, where Yukino flash engages onto the Aphelios Hansama, they one-shot him, and then they can use numbers advantage to actually win out on a fight. If they can find another pick like that, they're very much still in this game.
It's going to be harder to find a pick like that because one of the reasons G2 are clumping up the way they are is to avoid the Grand Starfall, to avoid the follow-up with the Weaver's Wall and having one player separated from the rest of the team. Caps is catching the wave on that top side. Labrov and Hans Sommer alongside BB will just walk away. The vision they had on the bottom side jungle is now being either denied or dissipated by Labrov putting wards on the rest of the map. And Hans Sommer is at 3.5 items, matching Hazel. In the mid lane, it's a match as well with 3 apiece. SkewMond has an extra item, or a bit of an extra item, over SkewMond, over Yukino in fact. And for now, KCB's pick tools, I mean, I don't see them getting through many locks, Vedi.
I mean, you can see how, when we talked about experience earlier, that the gold is a really great representation of how KCB had about a 1.3k gold lead that largely stayed the same.
Yeah.
But the second G2 get a small advantage, they go from a 1.4k gold deficit to a 5k gold lead. And this is kind of how you use that momentum to your advantage.
Did help that they killed all 5 members of the enemy team
absolutely.
and had a Baron buff,
you know, like, it definitely helps.
You know, swings around
does contribute, absolutely. But I mean, they also just had so much standing gold to pick up.
Yeah,
I think
true.
they got, what,
4 towers?
4 towers? Yeah, because the outer towers in mid and bot hadn't been taken yet either, so they used that Baron to... Not only did you get the Baron gold, you got an ace, and you picked up 4 towers. So that does, in fact, contribute quite significantly to quite a significant swing in gold.
It really does. It really does. When will it trickle down to the minions, is my question. You know, G2 minions should be wearing gold chains, rings, blinged out to the 9s.
You're trying to have a quick economy lesson here?
No, I'm talking about future mechanics in League.
Oh,
the higher your gold lead is, the more gold your minions give the enemy.
Ooh.
It sounds like a Swift play mechanic if I've ever heard one.
That would be, yeah, that sounds about right. Now, Labrov has to be very careful here because there's a Taliyah.
Seismic shot back onto him. Unbreakable Wall coming up, but he's already down to a 3rd HP. Hazel looking at the damage with the Cannon Barrage. There's the Weaver's Wall's going to knock Labrov back, but has the rest of his team to help him out. And Labrov does use the ultimate, but it's exchanged for Kamiloo's.
Now, with a small trade advantage like that, KCB could, in theory, threaten something like a Baron. However,
it's not up.
Yes, exactly. Also, Caps, scary Emperor. That is an Emperor that does large quantities of damage.
Yeah, it's a dictatorship, not a democracy.
Absolutely. So, they're going to have to be careful of that now. Some of the vision that they just put down is being cleared out. Top has been pushed in.
There's some Borborygmus going on the Summoner's Rift.
Familiar with that language.
Borborygmus? It's the noises your stomach makes when it gurgles.
Oh. Well, there you go. Fun fact of the day.
Also a magic card that led to a rules change.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
We're not going to get into that right now.
I'm more fascinated about the fact that stomach making a sound specifically has a name.
It's medicine. Everything has a name.
Fair enough.
Most of it's just 3 Latin and Greek words shoved together to
that makes sense.
Conglomerate into something.
Yukino is trying to flank. And unfortunately, the minions are ruining that plan of his.
Yeah. I mean, he's succeeding at flanking. It's just not an effective one.
Yeah, and now Labrov is shutting that down completely. He has said, nope, you've been spotted. Off you go. G2 can try, but the wave clear from Hazel is still enough to stop them from securing any access to the base.
I do like what Kamiloo's doing. Like, he's like, G2 in the mid lane, let's just get another wave shoved in. Let's try and get some gold for ourselves. It can be very easy in this sort of game state to actually just lose out on a ton of gold. And you can see G2 investing so much time in the mid lane that bot wave has crashed, top wave is going to crash. They are losing some gold on the map that they could be getting.
They absolutely are. One thing that they could consider doing right now, just start off the Baron in order to try and force the TP out from BrokenBlade and then immediately disengage. The only problem with doing something like that is that, number one, Dragon spawns in 10 seconds, and number two, G2 would probably just actually start the Baron themselves because they have a Sion and an Alistar. The fight over the mid wave has begun. Here comes BrokenBlade. He's looking for something.
Runs in, unstoppable onslaught straight away, lands onto the Valkyrying away Hazel, who flashes away from the headbutt, followed by Moonlight Vigil coming out as well. Crescendo from Hans Sommer will have a lot of damage. KCB very split. They'll try and dive onto Caps on the backline, but look at the damage onto Kamiloo. Already they've lost one, and now G2 can just collapse. The Emperor's angry, and he's had enough. A triple for Hans Sommer off the back of an Emperor's Divide out of Caps. Yukino will fall for the Quadra. Hazel not going to give his enemy AD carry the joy of a Penta. Instead, he'll go towards the bot side, but G2 are marching out of mid.
We've already seen 2 pentakills today. It looks like Hans Sommer's not going to make it the 3rd as they set their sights on the Nexus and look to get another win on the board.
Prime has respawned, and he will be back here trying to defend Hans Sommer. The Calibrum, SkewMond diving in as they go for Prime, who tries to flash away, but he will live to fight another day. Hazel escapes to its fountain. The Nexus has no escape, rooted to the ground and now raised to it too. G2 claim the win in 34 minutes.